Today's video about importance of supplements for methylation. In our body, process methylation is going non-stop. In simple words, methylation is the addition of methyl CH3 group to some molecules. Unbonding this group from molecules is called demethylation. Methylation affects the removal of toxins from the body, energy production, the functioning of the immune system, the maintenance of DNA, and the synthesis of neurotransmitters. Here we see that also the methylation is turning on genes and turning off. Methylation is turning off, demethylation turning on. And our biological age depends on rate of methylation. So we can check what is the rate of methylation and then to say about biological age. But it does not mean that methylation of DNK are always bad. It is not so, because there are bad genes, there are good genes, and if you are turning off bad genes, then it is okay. Also, methylation is necessary for telomeres. We will discuss it later. Metformin and vitamin B3 are main components of our anti-aging remedies. Whether the source of vitamin B3 niacinamide or more expensive varieties like nicotinamide riboside or nicotinamide mononucleotide, or molecules in food like L-tryptophan that can get broken down during digestion into nicotinamide. Our body turns them in our tissues into NAD+, that is the sirtuin-1 activator. The higher the dose given of any nutrient which can build the NAD+ molecule, the more important it is to support methylation. Methylation can be additionally supported with folates. This is folic acid, and this is also the other folates, and vitamin B12. Cobalamins such as methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin. So this I took from this article, just copy paste. So if we recall again the composition of the royal jelly, we see that a high amount of vitamin B3 and a high amount of vitamin B5. Yeah, and also let's look at some text table. We see that choline is the substance for methylation. Amount of choline, it is 40 times more than niacin. Niacin in this case it is nicotinic acid, not niacinamide. And B5 is compatible amount. So if we take large doses of niacin or nicotinamide, about 1 gram megadoses, then we have to take choline 40 gram a day. This is of course not real. We cannot get such amounts of choline from food. Okay, choline is an essential nutrient for humans, and it is a precursor of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Earlier in the 30s it was called vitamin B4, but then it was changed because our body can produce this choline from tryptophan, for example. Choline affects carbohydrate metabolism by regulating the level of insulin in the body. It is hepaprotector and lipotropic agent. So in combination with lecithin, it promotes the transport and metabolism of fats in the liver. So acetylcholine, it is ester of acetic acid and choline. So acetylcholine is a chemical that motor neurons of the nervous system release in order to activate muscles, so we need it very much. Choline improves mood, reduces the level of irritability and apathy, activates the process of thinking. In order for the brain to work better, and there will be no Alzheimer's disease in older age, you need to consume a lot of choline. Choline is necessary for formation of surfactant, in our lungs, and thanks to this substance, they do not collapse or remain airy. So it is especially important for now, because we are in this COVID pandemics, and then any flu can get complication like pneumonia, and pneumonia is, if you have enough choline, you will not get complications of pneumonia. Choline reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, strengthens the heart muscle, normalizes heart beat rate, and lowers blood sugar level, normalizes fat metabolism, increases sperm mobility in men in old age, prevents prostate malfunction. Daily choline intake is up to 1 gram recommended. It is possible to consume more. As I said, maybe it's even maybe 40 gram, I don't know, but excess is well tolerated and will just be removed from the body. Folic acid, vitamin B8, vitamin A, and other vitamins group B improve choline absorption. The highest choline content in the chicken yolk, where 0.8 gram of choline is per 100 or per about 5 yolks. The next product that is rich in choline is beef liver. It has about 0.4 gram of choline per 100 gram of liver. Also, there is a lot of choline in kidneys. Choline bitartrate used as nootropic supplement to improve brain function and memory, as well as antidepressant to increase stress tolerance and normalize sleep. It also improves cardiovascular system, gastrointestinal tract, and other body systems. 3-methylglycine is a functional metabolite of choline. It substitutes for choline nutritionally, but only partially. 3-methylglycine is a byproduct of sugar production from sugar beets. So demethylation of 3-methylglycine gives dimethylglycine. And dimethylglycine has been suggested for use as athletic performance enhancer and immunostimulant, but actually it is produced from 3-methylglycine naturally. So here we have this 3-methylcholine, 3 groups of methyl and choline. So unfortunately in Thailand the 3-methylglycine or betaine choline is quite relatively expensive. So as it is subproduct of sugar production, it can be probably in future cheap, or you can find some sources that are relatively cheap, but not for us. Methionine is an essential amino acid in humans that is used to produce coenzyme S-adenosine methionine. This is the S-adenosyl methionine is a cofactor that serves mainly as methyl donor. So it gives this methyl for methylation of DNA, for example. For the synthesis of this coenzyme, the presence of vitamin B12, folic acid, and vitamin B6 is necessary. Folic acid and vitamin B12 are simultaneously involved in many mechanisms that ensure telomere stability. The daily intake of methionine is 1.3 gram for a person weighing 70 kilo. For athletes, the norm of this essential amino acid can reach 2 or up to 4 gram per day, and methionine content in blood products per 100 is the highest in cheese, about almost 1 gram per 100 gram of cheese, mackerel, and egg yolk and egg white, and beef has also considerable amount of methionine. Why we need choline if methionine is used for methylation? So you see this methionine goes in the work for methylation of DNA and methylation of, so it is the donor of methyl groups. But problem that when it is losing the methyl group, it turns to homocysteine. Homocysteine is toxic. It is toxic, and it has to be deactivated. It is deactivated from choline. So choline gets into 3-methylglycine, and 3-methylglycine gives away one methyl group and turns it to dimethylglycine. Dimethylglycine, as I said, used for better athlete performance and also for immune system activation, etc., etc. So, but it is not in loop. When the methionine is in loop for methylation, it can be used many times. We need choline and as a source, or at least 3-methylglycine, a lot of 3-methylglycine to keep this process of deactivation of toxic homocysteine. The major step in methylation cycle is the remethylation of the homocysteine, a compound which is naturally generated during demethylation of the essential amino acid methionine. Homocysteine has been linked to inflammation, depression, specific forms of dementia, and various types of vascular disease. The remethylation process desoxifies homocysteine and convert it back to methionine. So we need choline a lot, and this has to be in balance. If we don't have enough choline, we get problem. So here in this also this loop shown that choline gets converted to betaine glycine, and then with assistance of B12, B6, and the vitamins B, it gets demethylated, and so to convert the homocysteine into methionine. Okay, so this homocysteine gets converted to methionine, and then we have this loop. And this is used, for example, for DNA methylation. Choline and betaine are the source of up to 60% of the methyl groups required for methylation of homocysteine. With the deficit of choline and betaine in the diet, people develop non-alcoholic fatty degeneration of the liver, which disappears when a sufficient amount of choline was introduced into the diet. So we see here that if we have too much of methionine and not enough of choline, then the result will be aging of the cells. But methylation is always good, actually. Not all methylation of DNA, it is, as I said, methylation is turning off the genes and demethylation is turning on. But for example, we need methylation for telomere. There is telomerase, such. So if without this telomerase, the cells cannot divide, and then they get to some limit when the telomeres are short, and then the cells are turning into zombie cells, senescent cells. So they cannot function properly, and they actually a reason that we are aging. So if we have to produce to make the telomeres longer, then we need a functioning telomerase, and then we need this methylation process. For the full functioning of the telomerase, adequate methylation to telomeres is necessary. Decrease in methylation promotes aging and aging-related diseases. So we need this methylation to slow down aging. So, as I said before, then the main components of our remedies are this vitamin B3 and also metformin. But it is somehow that importance of methylation is out of focus. Actually, we need a lot of choline, a lot of TMG to keep methylation process and to for two reasons. One reason is to remove excess of vitamins B3 from our body, and to detoxify some substances. So it is very important for functioning of the liver. If we don't have enough of choline and 3-methylglycine, we are in trouble. So, and as we see from composition of royal jelly, we need a lot, absolutely a lot of choline. And as also from composition of raw jelly, we see that we need niacin, and in this case niacin is nicotinic acid. So there is an opinion that we better take nicotinic acid in combination with nicotinamide, and not once a day, but maybe twice a day or maybe more, in small dosages, like, I don't know, 100 milligram probably, or maybe 200 milligram. It depends. This make our job for removal of this excess of vitamin B3 by our liver easier, and then we probably not need so much of choline for this. So, and then also the channel of this activation of this production of NAD plus, and is actually, there are two independent channels, they are separate channels. One channel goes through the nicotinic acid, other channel goes through the nicotinamide, and if we use both channels, the efficiency to create NAD plus will be higher. So we better follow this way. So not only one supplement, nicotinamide, but these two, niacin, nicotinic acid, and nicotinamide, both together. And then also tryptophan we can get from eggs, and then tryptophan also can be converted to niacin, nicotinic acid, in ratio about 1 to 47. 47 milligram of tryptophan gets converted to 1 milligram of nicotinic acid. So if we use all these three channels, then we improve efficiency of this NAD production. We need higher amount of NAD, and better not to use mega dosages once a day, but probably 2 days, or I don't know, maybe 3 days, two times a day, or maybe 3 times a day. I cannot say for sure about 3, but at least 2 times a day, early morning and some afternoon time. It seems to be reasonable. And we have to increase the amount of choline or 3-methylglycine. 3-methylglycine, as I said, in Thailand, relatively expensive. So maybe in future it will be cheaper, or maybe some suppliers can provide it cheaper, because it is relatively easy to produce from sugar production. So it's byproduct of sugar production. So please remember that I am not medical doctor. I am doctor in physics with some knowledge of chemistry and maybe a little bit biology. And I am not giving the medical advice. I am not supposed to do it. I am just sharing information. And if I use some copyrighted materials, I am not violate these copyrights, because it is only for scientific scientific purposes, and I do not have any financial interest. It is only information. I distribute this information. And if you want medical advice, you can go to a personal physician, and then you can act only upon advice of this personal physician. Personally, I never go to any physician, because I'm doctor to myself. In the last 15 years, I just there was no reason to attend any physician and to go to any physician. I don't like it. I am a doctor to myself. And if you was patient enough to watch this video to the end, thank you very much for your time. Please comment, subscribe, like, ask questions, and share information. So again, I want to underline some conclusion that somehow methylation is out of focus. we have to remember that we need a lot of these supplements like choline and like 3-methylglycine. 2-methylglycine you can buy relatively cheap. Choline is also available as a supplement, but eggs yolk have a lot of choline. Probably I will make a video about the eggs in more details. And we have to adjust our this supplement consumption intake, supplement intake, so that we better make it in 2 doses, 2 times a day, and in combination to use all channels. This one channel is nicotinic acid, other channel is nicotinamide, and the one more channel is tryptophan. Tryptophan can then also can activate the nicotinic acid production, and with nicotinic acid it is go to NAD+. So it is smart way, and we probably have to reduce dosages, not to use 1 gram a day of nicotinamide, but to reduce it maybe twice a day to 100 milligram of nicotinamide, 200 milligram of nicotinic acid, or even 100 milligram. We have to investigate this a little bit, but certainly more even distribution, more even supply of this supplements is certainly better. Okay, have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time again.